It's time for the Saturday Sports Show on WMIX. On your radio at AM 940 and online at mywithersradio.com. Recognized by the Illinois Broadcasters Association as one of the premier radio feature programs in the state. You're about to roam the region with more guests and content courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. Live from the Powerhouse, the Saturday Sports Show starts now.
And good morning. Glad to have you with us. WMIX online at mywithersradio.com. Another Saturday sports show coming at you this morning. Beautiful Saturday morning in the King City. Sunny skies. Should be a nice day for high school football semifinals as well as some college football going around the area. Hard to believe basketball season already here. We just wrapped up a slate of showcase games. The girls edition this week. We had 3 games for you on WMIX. Archived soon on mywithersradio.com. It's all coming your way. Glad to have you with us here on the Saturday Sports Show, courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Pretty busy lineup coming your way today. It's a basketball preview, if you will. We'll have Scott Gamber, head coach of the Mount Vernon Rams. His team gets started on Monday at 6:30 against Harre at the Pyramid Plus. Jeff Lonnon of the Mount Vernon Lady Rams will join us. His team gets started at the Nashville Thanksgiving Invite. Chad Harper, Weber Trojans, will stop by, as will Brian Gamber, head coach of the Waltonville Spartans. Lee Bennett of the Centralia Orphans. All around that first hour, we'll have Russ Gerlach of Wayne City. Say that 3 times fast. Shane Hawkins of Marion. Clint Winemiller, head girls coach and athletic director at Hamilton County High School. We prefer McLeansboro, if you will. Wayne Harre, Nashville Hornettes head coach, be on with us as well here in hour number 2 of the Saturday Sports Show. Glad to have you with us today. You can follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. You can also stop by Facebook, where you can see our question of the week, the WMIX Sports social media question of the week. Not sure if it's been posted just yet. It is online, facebook.com/WMIX Sports. You'll want to answer that one as well. Thanksgiving inspired. Hard to believe Thanksgiving will be here on Thursday. So we are almost there. It's basketball time. It's turkey time. Of course, wrestling, bowling, among others, getting underway here before you know it. We're glad to have you with us this morning. Chris Hugo with Mike Richardson, Danny Zerwinski, Jeff Crow in studio as well, here on the Saturday Sports Show. High school football semifinals are here. I think it's a little hard to believe that football season is coming to an end, but if you would have looked at teams before the season started, some may tell you it'd be hard to believe that 2 teams from the 618 would be still going today in the semifinals. Of course, Althoff, I believe, is at Camp Point Central. Harrisburg travels to Rochester today. You can hear that game on WEBQ 1240, our sister station, also online at WEBQradio.com. And it's going to be a tough one, I think, in Class 4A today as Harrisburg battles the defending two-time defending 4A state champion Rochester Rockets. And I think if you kind of looked at the brackets when they were released on the last Saturday of the regular season, Harrisburg-Rochester, you kind of played them out, thought that might end up happening, and now it's going to be a tough battle for Harrisburg.
This will be a tough one because the theory of going over 2 hours on a bus usually kind of sways the odds against you. The theories I've kind of believed in, you get over 2 hours, anything can happen. I think you lose some points off the board as well when you go that far. However, a team with the experience and senior leadership of Harrisburg, they shuffled out of Saline County this morning at 8 o'clock. They are currently on the road, heading out of Harrisburg to Rochester. We wish them nothing but the best, but boy, they are up against it today as they take on the 2-time defending Class 4A state champion Rochester Rockets, who Mount Vernon will see next August in Week 1. But this is a task. I think if you pick the 2, I think Althoff has a very good chance to be in the state finals next weekend. I think Harrisburg has to go up there, shake off the bus ride, and play almost a perfect game if they want to get out of Rochester with a win.
Well, Rochester, of course, Garrett Dooley, the linebacker running back, will be going to Wisconsin next fall. You also have Green, our quarterback, who just gave a verbal to Eastern Illinois. And, of course, you have Harrisburg, some D1 talent there as well in other sports. Ryan Roper going to play baseball at Illinois. He is their quarterback, kicker, punter. And so the Bulldogs have a tough one today. Of course, the Althoff Crusaders in Class 2A, hard to believe, will be in the semifinals against Camp Point Central Southeastern Co-op. So the compass rose today against the Althoff Crusaders. Crusaders narrowly defeated, of course. It took a last-second field goal to hit the crossbar and jumped over to defeat Casey Westfield last week. They have Camp Point Central, who came down to DuQuoin last week, and you thought for a second DuQuoin might get back in that one and might have what it took to get a final touchdown to overtake, but Camp Point Central just proved to be a little strong.
Camp Point Central got off the bus, walked on the field, and they didn't look very impressive. Undefeated, but they came out and they were ready to go. Special teams made a huge difference in that game last week, and Althoff will have to be prepared for it. this week because, Althoff's been winning, but I think a lot of people thought they'd go into 2A and dominate, especially with the smaller schools. But, these 2A schools are playing Casey Westfield, a lot of tradition. Althoff had to go to Athens, and, of course, along that line, they're having some very tough ball games. I think Althoff will win this one today and take full advantage of dropping down a couple of classes in football to bring back a trophy to Belleville, Illinois.
Well, and it'll kind of like to see that happen. Football in the 6-1-8 for once.
That leads me to a question.
Fire away.
Because you guys know I take a little time off during high school football, but how did Althoff end up in 2A?
Because they hadn't won a playoff game in 4 or 5 years, so they get to bump down.
Just like in basketball did earlier. Okay.
Love discussing that because and now that they've won a first-round game, for 6 years they'll have the multiplier back in effect, which is crazy. So they get to take advantage of I kind of can compare it to the uncapped football season in the NFL. Somebody
asked me that, and that's the only answer I was able to give them because the same thing in state tournament a couple years ago with Normal. A perennial 3A power, and then they dropped down in that 2A bracket just for that 1 year. So I equated it to that, and that's the only thing I was going on. I can understand that a little bit maybe in basketball, but with the numbers in football and with all the co-oping going on, I just don't see how that can be done that way.
They're taking advantage, and obviously also the fact that there's a lot of private schools still left. There's a chance that 6 private schools could win 6 of the 8 classes left. Now you'll say, well, what about all the other public schools? Okay, I'll grant you that, but I'm looking down the list here of who could possibly win, who's favored. Althoff has got to be a favorite in 2A. I know Lido is going to be very good. Clifton Central is also very good, 11-1. Aurora Christian and Sterling Newman Central Catholic. Aurora Christian defending state champion 3A. Nobody in 4A. You got Joliet Catholic and Lombard Montini and SHG in 5A, so 3 out of 4 teams. Creek Monets in 6A. And then in 7A, you have Lyle Bennett Academy, and in 8A, you have Wilmette Loyola Academy. So you got, and Chicago Mount Carmel. A plethora of private schools that you are expecting to win a state title. And again, I don't understand the fact how if you're a private school you can bump down. Because I'll give the example. Shane Hawkins, will be on later in the show, coaches Marion. Marion hasn't won a regional in 20-something years, 22 years. Can they bump down to 2A? I mean, they haven't won in a while. There's other schools that haven't won a regional in other sports. Can they bump down?
Yeah, I don't know how you're doing that as far as if it's just all going to be individual sports or if it's your school total athletic program. I find it hard to believe, and I know the numbers have to speak for themselves. Like a couple of years ago, referring back to basketball with Normal, can't believe that they hadn't won a regional somewhere along the line in that time frame. But if they do make that a rule, I can see where it goes in play. But I just don't get it to how that takes place when we've had Sesser before with the co-op of playing a regular season in 2A in their conference, and then boom, the playoff starts. Oh, here comes the multiplier. Oh, by the way, you're going to be in 3A or 4A this year. And then now you see that Althoff is down in 2A. Sort of makes me chuckle a little.
Well, and then think about the fact of teams that we may see bump up classes in other sports next year. You look at teams that are on the bubble this year. The Benton Rangers, Harrisburg Bulldogs, dangerously close to dancing in 3A in boys basketball. Early projections suggest that they could be 3A in boys basketball next year, and that certainly would not be fun for Harrisburg and Benton. It gets me a step closer to the reformation to the South 7, but which will never happen.
It's a scheduling nightmare. You won't know until it's too late, unless you can drop and trade and swap and whatever else to schedule, and that's the only problem. Sometimes the IHSA has a knack, and they do 95% of things well. Sometimes they do things late. Right. Or do things inconsistently, and much like the NCAA, that's another topic, another time I'll get on a soapbox with. But you just hope there's some time that they give the athletic directors and coaches every school they're going to bump up or bump down, whatever. Massac County's a big example in boys basketball this year. They're in 3A, and they bumped down from the Marion Pyramid Tournament, to the Vienna Tournament to begin the year, and now they're in a tournament with 1A and 2A schools. And now, by the end of the season, they're going to be playing the Class 3 regional more than likely with a Carbondale and Carbondale and a Marion. And it was too late. They couldn't get out, couldn't break contract. Here they are.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting over the next few years, especially to see how long that this this type of situation is stuck with in terms of the IHSA. Basketball preview day here on the Saturday Sports Show. There was some high school football talk. Our scores will return next week. You can find some of the scores from this week, of course. Follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. We also post them on Facebook, and there will be a news source coming this coming week as well. You want to stay tuned to WMIX and follow us on the social media for more updates on that. Scott Gamber, the Mount Vernon Rams, to come here on the Saturday Sports Show. We'll have him after the break. We'll talk about his team, preview his team, and talk a little bit about his thoughts on the Pyramid Plus tournament minus a team. That'll be coming up here on the Saturday Sports Show, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
How does Dale's Harley-Davidson in Mount Vernon stay the longest-running Harley dealer in Southern Illinois? How about free pickup and delivery and being the home of the $29.95 oil change? Plus, get financing as low as 1.5 APR, along with the best selection of certified pre-owned Harley-Davidsons. So now you know how Dale's Harley-Davidson stays number one. Dale's Harley-Davidson, open every day but Wednesday, just off of I-57 in Mount Vernon. Visit dales-hd.com and follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital. With our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge, the entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Show, brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
And we welcome into the program the head coach of the Mount Vernon boys basketball team, Scott Gamber. How are you this morning, Coach Gamber?
I'm good. How are you guys doing this morning?
Doing well right now as we roll into the Saturday Sports Show. First question is, obviously on the table, 2 weeks into the practice schedule. How's practice been going for your Mount Vernon Rams?
It's been going good. Obviously with every coach you talk to, 2 weeks isn't a whole lot of time, and you're trying to get a lot in a hurry, and it can be kind of overwhelming at times, but it's going really good. I think our guys have picked up stuff pretty well, and I know they are really ready to play against somebody other than their teammates. So the players are a whole lot more ready right now for that first game on Monday than the coaches probably.
Of course, Scott, you lead me into my first question for you is obviously a little bit of turnover on the coaching staff due to Brian taking the job at Waltonville. You bring on Jared Shaner, but you also bring on another freshman coach as well. Tell us a little bit about the new additions to the coaching staff in 2012-2013.
Yeah, when Brian left, that's works. I thought Brian did a really nice job with the freshmen last year, and we were very lucky. We got two outstanding freshman coaches. Jared Shaner, I'm learning a lot from him right now as well. He coached at Lincoln under Neil Alexander. I think if you probably talk to a lot of the coaches in Southern and Central Illinois, I think Neil would be considered one of the best coaches around. So he's come from that. And then Rashad Seaton, he played at Thornridge in high school, and then he played college basketball at Greenville, and he does a really nice job with the kids. I mean, especially with the guards. He really works well with them. The kids really like him, and we're really lucky to have those two guys on our staff this year. I know the freshman kids have been working hard, and like I said, Jared's helped us as well. Just kind of talk about how Neil did some things, and it's been really good for us.
Speaking of good for us, obviously last year big year with big wins for Mount Vernon. Going into this year, talk about some of your returning players and kids you expect to step up from the lower levels to help out your team this year.
Yeah, and that's probably the toughest thing right now is trying to figure out what our rotations are going to be coming into this tournament, because we had a team with not a lot of varsity experience, but we do have a lot of seniors. our returning players, starters anyway. Jaron Lydell started last year for us. He's returning. Trevor Flota started last year for us. He's returning. Michael Caesar started a few games last year. I'm really hoping to get a lot out of him. I'm expecting a big year from Michael. He is a hard worker. He's gotten a lot stronger. And then you have Travis Mitchell, who started a couple games last year for us. He looks to really fill a good role. We really need him to fill a role for us. Travis can really shoot the basketball. He can do some nice things offensively. And then Jake Pike, who last year started getting more and more playing time as the year ended, and I think he could have a really nice season for us. Quayman Cantley's back. He provides a big body for us. Clayton Reeves is injured right now, so that's he's going to be sidelined probably for at least a month. And then we have a freshman, Braden Fitzgerald, who I'm expecting a lot out of this year, and I know that's a big jump when you're talking about from grade school basketball into varsity basketball. But he's a strong kid, he's a smart kid, and I really think that he's going to be able to do it. And then we have a lot of other guys. Shakari Hawkins and Doug Gardner are a couple more juniors that could see playing time. And then, you hate talking about a lot of kids because you obviously will forget somebody. But we do have a lot of sophomores, and that's it. Just who's going to be able to step up and play that varsity role.
Looking at the Pyramid Tournament next week, last year a 6-team affair. You got 5 games. This year East St. Louis double booked, had to drop out. You only get 4 games in this week. Is that bothersome to you or your coaching staff, or is that just one of those deals? It's just part of the basketball in Southern Illinois because there's just too many tournaments to go around.
Yeah, I obviously would have really, really liked 5 games, and we would have liked, just if we weren't going to get 5 games, we really would have liked to have had our off day, somewhere before that last day, so we could have had the chance to prepare a little bit for another team. As it sits, 4 games, and we'll get that Saturday off, which the good thing about that, we'll get a chance to scout some of our opponents for that first week. We hopefully can get to go to Centralia and maybe see. I haven't seen our schedule yet. But maybe see Centralia, maybe see Muscuda as we play them early. But I'm excited to play. There's a lot of unknowns. You've got Harre, who they have the same coach, but they have a huge turnover in players. Marion's got a new coach. Collinsville has a big turnover in players. So you don't know how much the styles will have changed from last year with such a huge turnover in players.
Is this a tournament, a situation that as long as there are 5 teams in it, you could see us staying in the pyramid, or is this a tournament?
I really like the pyramid. I think it's really good for us. I think we see a lot of different styles of basketball, and I think it's been really good for us in the past. Last year, I think it was great for us getting to see East St. Louis right off the bat, play against that type of athleticism. Obviously this year we're going to see several different things. Harre, last year anyway, played a lot of 1-3-1. It's good for us to go against that early in the season. Marion's probably going to do a lot of pressure things. It's going to be good for us to see that. Salem's got a lot of size coming back from last year, and then obviously Collinsville's got a lot of size, and Coach Lee does a really good job. So I really like the tournament. Obviously would like to get five games, hopefully with a full year to try to find somebody. Hopefully they can get 5 games, but if not, it's still something that we'll stay in as long as we'll have us.
Of course, Scott, our final question, WMIX social media question of the week. I know the Thanksgiving tournament will preclude you from really getting away this Thanksgiving holiday, but our question this week is, what is your favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
Probably sweet potatoes.
Nice.
Really, really like sweet potatoes. So,
now, hold on. Do you like kind of like the casserole, or do you just like the whole yam? How do you do it?
Yeah, the whole yam. Like my mom does, like the sweet potato, and then she puts like marshmallow in it, and it's
nice.
Really good.
Brown sugar and butter, all that, I assume?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice. Scott, obviously we will see you Monday night. Good luck to the Rams against Harre at 6:15 or 6:30.
All right. Thank you very much.
That's Scott Gamber, head coach of the Mount Vernon Rams. Rams and Harre Tigers will tip off 6:30. 6:15 is actually our pregame show on WMIX FM. Video online at WMIXsports.com. Of course, that's all to come on Monday. Glad to have you with us on the Saturday Sports Show. Jeff Lonnon, head coach of the Mount Vernon Lady Rams, will join us at the bottom of the hour here on the Saturday Sports Show. We'll take a quick break. Sports Show is presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Attention all Medicare Part D pharmacy patients. The annual enrollment period begins earlier this year, October 15th, and ends December 7th. And the Medicine Shop Pharmacy is ready to help you. Stop by or call to make an appointment with Eric Black or Tracy Adams. They'll review your current prescription plan and help you manage your Medicare dollars. Here's pharmacist and pharmacy owner Eric Black.
What we offer to our patients is to sit down with them and answer questions that they may have about their medications, really with the end goal of being to maximize their dollars, because that's, after all, what patients really want. We'll take appointments, we'll sit down with them, take as long as it takes to help them choose a plan that is effective at meeting their needs.
Remember, the good folks at the Medicine Shop Pharmacy are never too busy to take care of you. They look forward to understanding your healthcare needs and will focus on keeping you well. The Medicine Shop Pharmacy, 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
To call to make an appointment, call 618-242-8776.
The tradition of fine vehicles and great service continues at Second Chance Auto. They've been providing quality cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs for families like yours for over 32 years, and many are priced under $10,000. Plus, most have a 3-month or 3,000-mile warranty. Bank rate financing available with instant approval. No gimmicks, no pressure, just honest deals on great vehicles from your friends and neighbors at Second Chance Auto, living and contributing back to the community they serve. Located on Route 142 East in Mount Vernon, or call 244-4582.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, MyWithersRadio.com. Glad to have you with us, courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Bottom of the hour here in the King City, 8:30 on WMIX, Mount Vernon. Glad to have you. Jeff Lonnon joins us now, head coach of the Mount Vernon Lady Rams. Coach Lonnon, good morning.
How you doing, Chris?
You know what, I think, I won't speak for everybody, I'm doing all right. Had a couple cups of coffee this morning. Look, feel like I'm ready to go, but obviously, I know you're ready to go, itching to get at that Nashville tournament. Of course, you guys get underway Monday at 6:30 against the Oakville Lady Rockets. You've been practicing now for about 3 weeks. I'd have to assume that the feel of your girls is they're ready to get after it.
Oh, absolutely. We're tired of practicing. You know, we've been practicing now for 3 weeks, and it's really been good. We've had good numbers come out this year. We had about 30 try out. We had, I think we kept 27. We've got 10 freshmen, we had 4 seniors, got five juniors, got 9 sophomores, and the mix is good. Got a lot of experience coming back. So, we've got some good practice, and, we're ready to go and see what we got on Monday night.
An extra week of practice, has a thought ever crept in your mind to maybe try to find a game in that first week to get one before the Nashville tournament?
Say that again, Danny. You cut out. Sorry.
I was asking, the thing is, have you ever thought about picking up a game in that first week before the Nashville tournament, or just to lay back in these 3 weeks?
I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on that. I really kind of enjoy just having 3 weeks to get everything in and then go. I think a lot of these guys that are playing right now, I know, my buddy Andy down in Bennett, it just seemed like, he told me this, it just seems like we just started and now we got to play a game and we don't have all our stuff in, and, we're rough around the edges, and I don't know. I'm not really big on playing one real early. I mean, that they've already played 3 or 4 now. They started on the 12th down there at that Marion tournament, all those teams, and, I guess you got to be ready to play sometimes, but I'd rather have the extra week or two to, kind of polish and make sure all your stuff's good and make sure you're as sound as you can possibly be for the first game. So, I'm pretty happy with where our schedule's set up. We play in 3 nice tournaments, and, we get a little time in the beginning to, get our teams kind of squared into shape. So it's good. I'm good with our schedule.
Speaking of that schedule, you open up Monday night against Oakville, a Class 1A school. You then again don't play until Friday, 8:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. It's kind of a quick turnaround over the weekend. You're going to get 3 games in 2 days after having a game and 3 days off. You look at your team, looking at some of that experience returning back. How important will that experience be when you have a situation like that in the upcoming weekend?
Very important, very important. I mean, you just can't put into words what the experience of those seniors are going to mean here coming in. They know what's coming. They're very confident. They're not nervous. I don't think they don't act like they're nervous. They're just ready to go. I think that, this is a little group that I have now that really like each other, too, and that really helps. And the reason, that they like each other so much, I think, from a basketball standpoint, is they played with each other for so long, So I kind of have that, with our seniors last year with Piper and Green, it was kind of the same deal. They played with each other forever. I had 2 then, now I've got 4. So, it kind of doubles the amount of, I guess, confidence, and it kind of doubles the amount of kind of just relaxation going into this, and knowing what's coming and not getting too excited or bent out of shape. And they know exactly where they're going. They know who they're playing. Everybody they played last year. And they know if they do well and, they take care of business, then they know what's probably at the end of the line, and that's, Nashville. They're going to be the favorite on the other side. And our goal is to take one game at a time and try to get to a point where we can play for a tournament championship, because those are steps for us. So that's kind of our goal right now, and I really like our group that we've got. We've been in here this morning, actually already came in at 8 o'clock, and just had kind of a jog through on all our stuff, and now they're downstairs watching film. So they're good. I mean, they're just good. They're good kids, and I think they're going to be ready on Monday.
I've got to ask, what did you do to Wayner or Neil Hammond to get the 8:30 draw on Black Friday? And is there anything I can do to help that?
Well, I don't understand either. I've always tried to be kind to those people over there, Wayne and Neil and all those guys, and I don't think I ever did anything in my life to upset them, but I'm going to have a talk for sure, because I can't remember ever in however many years it's been, 17, whatever, but I don't think I ever remember playing a game at 8:30 in the morning. So this is an uncharted territory. I told my girls this morning, it was about 8:15, and if you've ever coached girls or boys or whoever, 8:15 in the morning on Saturday is not probably their optimal mental time. They're probably a little bit tired from the previous evening. They Facebook and they Twitter and they do all these things, and they don't go to bed quite as early as they do on a school night. So I told them, I said, 8:15, I said, girls, I said, on Friday, you're going to be taking the court right now. And I think they just, the reality kind of set in on how early that really is. So we're going to get them up. We're going to take them over there at 6:45 on Friday in the morning. We're going to have some Pop-Tarts and some Sunny D. We'll get them some donuts. We'll play some loud music on the bus over there. We're not going to sleep. We're just going to try to make a lot of noise and eat a lot of sugar. And when we get there, hopefully we'll crank up.
So is this going to be Jeff Lonnon-like music, or are you getting the guitar out, or is this going to be stuff that they're into?
No, it'll be something they're into. I can't play anything I like. There's nothing that I like that those girls have even heard. The 80s are gone, unfortunately.
Well, there's an element of truth to that. However, you also, like Scott, have a new addition to your coaching staff. Of course, a new freshman coach in Casey Hale. Tell us a little bit about how that evolved.
Well, that's a good question. Our freshman coach from last year, Kayla Worker, took another job in the Springfield area, and she was here just 1 year, and that left us a void at the freshman level. And we talked about it a little bit. Casey was someone who has always been around Lady Ram basketball and who was a great player here for Coach Rennie for Lady Ram basketball. And she had kind of, there over the last couple of years, had come in to do the clock for all our home games, and I kind of got to know Casey that way. And I knew, how much she really loved watching the girls and the program, or else she wouldn't have put her time in doing that. So, and besides the fact she was a great player. So she was kind of one of those Lady Rams that, you don't see a lot of them come back around, because they're all out doing their own thing now. But she was one that, you would see it every game. And I thought, that's a really, really good option for us, to consider because of her past and the history of her story here. And then, just the fact that, we also needed somebody, that would put the time in and care. And I knew that she would put the time in. I knew she would care. And then you throw in the fact that she was a Lady Ram and loves the program, it was a no-brainer. So that's kind of how that evolved. And her first game is Monday night versus it's Tuesday night, versus Nashville. At Nashville, so I think there's some butterflies running pretty heavy there with the freshman team, and probably her a little bit too. It's going to be her first game coaching, and I think she'll do wonderful. I think she'll do great. And I remember my first game, and I was a mess. You'll never forget your first game, no matter what it is. So I have a lot of confidence in her, and I think she's going to do great. She coaches with a lot of enthusiasm, and she really cares about the kids, and that's what you want.
Of course, Lonnon, you've been with us long enough now to know the WMIX Sports social media question of the week. Thanksgiving being on Thursday, of course, we want to know, what's your favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
Mashed potatoes.
Gravy or no gravy?
Gravy. And my grandma used to make this dressing, or stuffing. Some people call it stuffing. I call it dressing.
You're a dressing guy, huh?
Oh, absolutely. But my grandmother, she passed away about 10 years ago, and she had a recipe, and it was just wonderful. I just loved that stuff. You think about that all year. She would make it for Christmas, and she would make it for Thanksgiving, and she'd make it twice a year. And then when she passed away, we had some, several deaths in the family there over, of course, just a couple of years, and lost some people. So my mom and I started, and my dad, back at the time, started to kind of low key it on Thanksgiving. A couple of years we just went out to eat. So, I kind of got out of the dressing mode there, and I'm still out of it because we still don't have it. But because we visit other people's homes now for Thanksgiving, my mother and I go to a friend's house. So, right now currently it's mashed potatoes. So 10 years ago it was dressing.
I got you.
I hate that cranberry stuff.
What? How in the heck can somebody hate cranberries? You probably hate the whole buried.
I agree totally.
Oh, my gosh.
You need to give jelly a chance.
No, I can't even look at that stuff on the other end of the table.
We're
it ruins my appetite.
We're going to hang up on Jeff Lonnon right now. Actually, in all seriousness, Lonnon, I know you get started Monday night against Oakville, 6:30 against the Lady Rockets. Good luck at Nashville, and we'll see you Friday morning.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Chris.
That's Jeff Lonnon, head coach of the Mount Vernon Lady Rams. That's not why we're in an interview. We just kind of ran over our segment time there. Again, Lady Rams get started Monday night, 6:30 on V1047 and V1047.com, our sister station, as the Lady Rams open up their season against the Oakville Rockettes. At least it should be the Rockettes. It's really the Lady Rockets. We need to take a break here on the Saturday Sports Show. It's presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Chad Harper's next.
Hi, this is Nina Reitnauer, relationship banker with People's National Bank in Mount Vernon. People's National Bank is focused on providing the best possible customer service and products to meet the needs of our customers. If you aren't receiving the products and services you desire, maybe it's time to make a change. Change the name of your bank for the last time and make the switch to People's National Bank.
People's National Bank, serving Southern Illinois since 1909. Member FDIC, wireless carrier fees may apply.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital with our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge. The entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, MyWithersRadio.com. Glad to have you with us as we talk high school basketball this morning. Our next guest is the new head coach of the Weber Trojans, and one we hope will be around for quite a while. It's Chad Harper. Coach Harper, good morning.
Good morning.
You know what? Your season gets started at the famous Christopher Thanksgiving tournament. Of course, on Tuesday you drew Thompsonville. Before we get into that, though, how good does it feel to be back in coaching so soon and to be at Weber Township where there is a great opportunity to turn that around and get them winning?
Oh, it feels real good. I love to coach the game of basketball. And the most important thing is I like being around the kids and teaching them the game. And, I thought maybe I might have to take a year off or two, but, I was asked to come in, and, I'm looking forward to the opportunity.
Speaking of that, it's kind of like going old home week for you. You've been at Weber Township before. You were an assistant on the team that made the run to the Super Sectional a few years back. Has that made that transition just a little bit easier, knowing what you're getting into over there?
Oh, exactly. Makes it extremely easy, and it's easy for me to motivate the kids because I continue to give those kids examples and compare them to the kids that we had back in 2005, I believe. It can be done here, and so the kids kind of buy into Coach Beatty and I are selling to them because it has been done at Weber before.
A familiar team for you, obviously, at Waltonville. You've coached against Weber Township. Talk about some of your kids that you're going to be relying on as your season opens up on Tuesday night.
Oh, we have 6 seniors that's going to be coming back, returning this year, and we're going to rely on them pretty heavily. We got 6'7" Ty Henderson. He can play inside and outside, and he can handle the ball real well. So he's going to create a lot of mismatches for us, and that's going to be very beneficial. Then we got Dakota Dickey, who's a great rebounder. We got some good guards in Colton Dye and Greg Odell. Got a good shooter in Alex Lynn. I feel like we're going to be 8 or 9 deep. We have a couple sophomores, Fame Austin and Tyler Welch, who can handle the ball real well. And then we have a real good rebounder in Lane Mosier. I'm hoping to use more, but right now, that's the rotation I'm kind of looking at. And the other kids keep getting better and better each day. And our strength's going to be rebounding. The kids at Weber Township, they love to rebound, and I love it. I don't ever have to yell at them and say, get in there and rebound. So our guards rebound real well. And like I said, with Ty, he's going to cause a lot of mismatches because he can handle the ball kind of perimeter.
When you look at the Christopher Turkey tournament, Weber Township's been a mainstay for so many years, and you look at the 8 teams that are involved down there. Is anybody down there that you have thought about as being a favorite to win next week?
Well, Egyptian's going to be very athletic, and I remember watching them down there last year. They had a couple kids back, and they're going to put the full court press on you and trap you and run you up and down the floor. So you have to be very, very solid and take care of the basketball, not to let that game get away from you. So Egyptian's going to be a really good team. Waltonville has a bunch of their starters returning. Christopher has a bunch of their starters returning, and both of those teams last year were pretty good. So, it can be wide open. And Thompsonville's huge. I saw their starting lineup 6'6", 6'6", 6'4". There's quite a few teams down there. But if I had to take a guess, Egyptian, Waltonville, Christopher, Thompsonville, I think they were seeded pretty accurately.
Looking at the rest of your schedule, you come out of the gate with home games against ZR and, of course, conference against Odin. Before you go on the road for a while at Thompsonville, Conrad Allen, Waltonville, Woodlawn, and into the new year, that's kind of a tough stretch. Is that where you're going to learn a lot about your team, especially a veteran crew like you have coming back?
Right. Coach Bay and I were just talking about that. Right before Christmas break, we're going to find out where we're at and what we need to work on because we have some good competition and some very quality teams we're going to play against, and that just allows you, you're going to be playing your best basketball in February anyway. So right before Christmas break, we'll see where we're at and see what we need to work on and see what works for us.
Well, from my end of the world, another level of basketball will move up a notch to Kentucky. I know Mike Richardson's shaking his head now, but are we, as in Kentucky, going to get a point guard to quit being sick, or are we going to be in some trouble this year as far as that point guard position goes?
I think we'll be all right, Harold. Like I said, I think I really think he's going to have to get used to Calipari. He's on him pretty hard, and I think Archie can step in there. My main concern is this: free throws and giving up offensive rebounds. We don't shoot the free throw very good, and Kentucky's been giving up a ton of offensive rebounds. I think they'll gel throughout the season, and they'll get there, but right now it's hard to watch as Kim continues giving up those rebounds and throwing up those bricks at the free throw line. Our point guard position, it'll be fine. Just give him a little time. Give a little time
of getting back. Speaking as I look to my left, I got to remind you that the UCLA hat is in proud form this morning after they paid the NCAA some kind of money to get Shabazz Muhammad back on the floor. But anyway, our final question is our social media question of the week. When we ask you for Thanksgiving, what is your favorite side dish you like to eat at Thanksgiving?
Oh, dressing. Stuffing. I like stuffing.
Is that kind of the go-to when you go back for the extra helping and when you go back in line?
That's stuff I used to try to take home, too. After the family gathering is over, I try to sneak a bowl and take it home for leftovers. Oh, yeah.
Nice. So you're a dressing guy, not a stuffing guy.
Yeah, I'm a dressing guy.
That seems to be kind of like a regional type thing in between dressing and stuffing. But, Coach Harper, you guys get started Tuesday night, 6:15 against Thompsonville. Good luck to the Trojans, and we look forward to seeing them soon on the showcase.
All right, well, thanks for having me on.
That's Chad Harper, head coach of the Weber Trojans, and good to see him there. I feel like that gives us friendly faces everywhere we go. Not that we haven't had friendly faces everywhere we go, but certainly looking forward to getting the Weber Trojans in on the Jefferson County Basketball Showcase. Brian Gamber of the Waltonville Spartans joins us after the break here on the Saturday Sports Show, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Have you ever stopped to think about how much time we do not have during the day? Hi, Roy Schmidt, Ford dealer at Ford Square and Chrysler dealer at King City Chrysler, Mount Vernon. How often do you forget to make that phone call for an oil change or to schedule a tune-up? I'm excited to tell you that you can schedule your service appointments online at Ford Square and King City Chrysler. Whether the workday is too chaotic to pick up the phone or basketball practice just won't allow you to stop by, we have you covered. Log on to FordSquare.com or KingCityChrysler.com to schedule your service appointment. Or, if you prefer to hear a friendly voice, feel free to call us anytime. We've made amazing quality service unbelievably easy at Ford Square and King City Chrysler Center, Mount Vernon. You can count on us. Also, find us on Facebook and Twitter.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital with our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge. The entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, MyWithersRadio.com. One of our few Saturdays remaining on MyWithersRadio.com. We look to make the move. WMIXSports.com will launch on Monday, where you can catch all of our games and archives online there. We welcome the new head coach of the Waltonville Spartans, Brian Gamber. Coach Gamber, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
Doing pretty good. You are just a couple of days removed now from your coaching debut, your head coaching debut, I should say, as a varsity head coach. The Cobden Apple Knockers come knocking at the Christopher Thanksgiving Tournament at 6:15 Monday. I have to imagine you're probably somewhat excited, but maybe a little nerves there as well as you prepare to get underway Monday?
Yeah. I'm more excited than nervous. Anytime basketball season getting ready to start, it's got to be an exciting time. As you said, going in, the first game will be some nerves. I'm sure there will be. But after we tip it off, I'm sure that everybody will settle in, and we're just looking forward to it. We're getting ready to have practice today, and we're going to walk through some stuff. And we had our meet the team night last night, so our kids got to play a little bit. And I think they're ready to go. About 2 weeks of straight practice, and now I think we're ready to get started at Christopher. And Cobden's going to be a tough test for us right off the bat. So I think it'll be a good parameter for where we are right now. And I know I'm excited, and I know our kids are, so I think we're ready to go.
Lots of veterans for you return off this team that you're in your first year. Talk about some of the kids you're relying on in this upcoming season.
Okay. I know that from last year we had 3 starters returning. Jordan Hale, Trey Widges, and Matt Rogers all started last year. All 3 of them are seniors. We had some kids that got some varsity minutes last year. Patrick Booza is a senior this year. They got to play last year. We have Hunter Coggins, who's a junior this year. He got several varsity minutes last year. Derek Wisnan is a senior that's going to have to give good minutes. Austin Zahn is a junior that's going to play. We got a transfer from Pinckneyville, Tyler Harmon, that's a senior, and he's going to give minutes. Justin Winchester's a junior. He's a guard. He's done a really nice job for us, and he's going to give minutes. I mean, we've got a lot of guys that have done really well, and all of them are going to have to contribute. We're not going to just rely on a couple of guys that we have coming back. Obviously, their experience, all those varsity minutes that they've logged, are going to be extremely important. They've been in close games. They've seen almost every situation. You really just can't teach that experience. But it's going to take everybody. We're going to have to go 8 or 9 deep and really run guys in there and stay fresh, and everybody's going to have to contribute, and that's kind of what we've been on our guys about. There's so many different ways that they can contribute to the team more than just scoring, and that's what we've tried to get our guys to buy into, and I think all of them have so far. So,
moving over a chair to be the head coach, you get into more of the scouting and details and practice planning. How, and I know the season starts on Monday night and the scouting will begin, but how much homework have you had to do to get used to and learn a different set of teams coming up on your schedule and what you're normally used to?
Yeah, I was going to say, from the standpoint of all the teams being so new, and from the last several years being so busy with where I was at that time, not really knowing about the teams on the schedule, it's been tough. At the same time, it's been easy because I've had so many coaches that have been so willing to talk and send me things and film. So if I need something, I'll go and find teams that maybe have played the team that we're facing, and a simple phone call or an email asking, hey, what do you have? Do you mind sharing? And I've been lucky so far. A lot of coaches have been very receptive to sending me things and going through different scouting reports. And that's going to continue. Like you said, Monday we'll start traveling, and I know I've already mapped out where I'm going to go every single day that following week when we're done, because there's a lot of post-Thanksgiving tournaments. So, but as far as the actual scouting, I got to do that. I was fortunate. I know that Coach Gamber from Mount Vernon, he trusted me a lot, and I did a lot of scouting reports and different things, and it worked well because I kind of saw the same things he did. So when it comes to figuring it out and watching, that part, it's not really new to me, but the teams definitely are. So
I got to ask, is this year working under this head coach a little easier than it has been in past years under that other head coach?
Oh, man, without a doubt. That other one puts you to work just 24/7. So it's nice to step away from and not have to deal with them every single day.
Well, I remember at the Benton Summer Shootout, whenever you're there with your team, your brother's there with his, and he still tried to put you to work for his whenever you guys weren't playing. So
That's right.
But you guys, go ahead.
No, I just tell them, I've got plenty of things to do on my own. I don't need to deal with your stuff. So.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that. He's got somebody that he's got Jared Shaner now wearing pants, so something's going on somewhere around the way.
I was going to say I can't believe that he worked that out, but I was impressed with that.
Well, that foggy picture on Twitter the other night of Jared Shaner in a pair of khakis, it kind of, like we said, looked like Bigfoot. That's one of those deals we don't know if it really happened or not, but I guess we'll see next week at Marion.
I was going to say, I saw that, and I still don't believe that was Coach Shaner. I'm thinking the shorts are going to get busted out at the Pyramid.
Well, I would certainly hope so. Brian, obviously it's Thanksgiving week is upon us. Our WMIX Sports social media question this week is, what is your favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
Well, I was thinking stuffing. I'm a big stovetop guy, but I don't know if this is considered a side dish, but my mom's croissant rolls got to be number one.
Do you eat it on the side with like your turkey? Of course, that's a side dish. That counts.
Okay, yeah.
We'll count it. We'll allow it.
Okay,
it's good choice.
Yeah.
Of course, you guys get started Monday night against Cobden at 6:15. The best of luck to the Spartans this year, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
That is Brian Gamber, head coach of the Waltonville Spartans. We near the top of the hour here on the Saturday Sports Show. Lee Bennett to come of the Centralia Orphans. We'll talk with him about the Orphans having to make some adjustments in the backcourt as they lose Brian Betts to graduation, who did a fine job after the graduation of R.J. Kukuski. for the Centralia Orphans. That's all to come here on the Saturday Sports Show, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
I know you've heard about mortgage rates being all-time lows, but have you done anything about it yet? Hi, I'm Rick Pigg, mortgage lender at Community First Bank. There's never been a better time at buying a home or refinancing an existing mortgage. The sooner you act, the more you save, and we'll be there to help you through every step of the way. For more information, visit us at comfirstbank.net or stop by one of our 5 locations.
Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is WMIX, Mount Vernon, Marion, another Withers Broadcasting Station.
The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois welcomes Dr. Beth Conradi to their medical staff. Dr. Conradi specializes in comprehensive pain management using a multidisciplinary team approach by working with other specialists for optimal diagnosis and treatment of pain. Dr. Conradi will treat most conditions of the spine, including management of cancer pain. Dr. Beth Conradi, helping to make life better day after day at the Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois in Mount Vernon. Call 618-242-3778.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, mywithersradio.com. Top of the hour, WMIX Mount Vernon, a free service from Withers Broadcasting. Welcome now to the program, head coach of the Centralia Orphans, Lee Bennett. Coach Bennett, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Saturday.
Yes, it's a beautiful Saturday morning. Good day for maybe a final walkthrough before you host the Thanksgiving tournament, not to mention a brand new Thanksgiving tournament that allows you guys about 25 or 30 home games this year. So all should start out fairly well in the land of the Orphan.
Well, I don't know. I think our court and goal is the same size as everybody else's. It's nice not to have to ride the bus. I think sometimes maybe that's a little bit overrated. But, yeah, I mean, if you have a choice to ride the bus or not, you probably just soon not. Although sometimes it's nice to get away. Sometimes kids don't have as many people trying to coach them if they get away a little bit. But, yeah, we got our tournament this starting Monday. We play Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, all games at 7:45. There's a 6:15 game for all of them. The other teams in the tournament are Muhammad Seymour, Jerseyville, Mascoutah, and Belleville East. There's also a Saturday morning session that starts at 11, and our junior high is going to get a chance to play on the big floor against Mascoutah's junior high at 2 o'clock on Saturday. This game we're getting in there. So we're excited about the tournament, excited to get going, but, you know, from a coaching perspective, you know that you're not ready, but you also know that your opponent's not ready. You know, it's just part of trying to play a game after 2 weeks of practice, which puts, you know, it's a great onus on summer basketball and participation and you know, just learning.
Speaking of learning, this new Thanksgiving tournament comes about. Was that part of struggling to find a game on the schedule, open up to get going, or is that this deal that with a new facility to go ahead and get the tournament started?
We've been playing in Jacksonville, and you know, you load up kids and go there on a bus, and you're looking at getting close to 3 hours one way. And it was a 16-5 game tournament, and a brutally hard week, which is fine. You know, you're getting a lot of games, and you know, we've won it 3 out of the 4 years that we went, but it's just we didn't have to move, but there were some things that we just thought might be better to change, and we started looking at changing, and then, you know, we started thinking some of our fans would like the idea, and there's a lot of people that are very excited about the fact that they're not going to have to travel to get to see the Orphans. Not that they don't all look forward to listening to Mike McManus, you know, on the radio when the games are that far. They do, but that's second best to getting to watch them in person for a lot of people. So they're excited about that, and you know, it's just the opportunity presented itself. We kind of took advantage of it, and we'll see where it goes. Obviously, it's not the Centralia Holiday Tournament, you know, and with the prestige and history and the large number of teams that come to that. But it's a nice little season opener, and it's something that we've included on our season ticket holders' season tickets. So, you know, we're looking forward to them getting the opportunity to come out.
Of course, a little added value for the season ticket holders. Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
But the Orphans, of course, Brian Betts, you lose him among some others to graduation, looking to do some things in the backcourt again after losing Kukuski the year before, and then Betts now this time. What are we looking at from the Centralia Orphans now, without giving away too many trade secrets?
Yeah, I mean, we got to replace our leading scorer, rebounder, guy that got the ball up the floor, guy that got the defensive stops, the guy that did that's all one guy. But you look at that and you think you're replacing, a few different guys. And that's where we are. We have a lot of guys that we're playing right now. We're going to play some guys that are juniors that last year as sophomores were playing and didn't know a whole lot of what they were doing. Now, those guys certainly should have a pretty good grasp and a clue on what they're doing. Not that they're going to be mistake-free, but you think that those guys, and then we have a few other guys that are in the shoes they were in. So, in a way we have, because especially after Daniel went down last year in the first game, we had two experienced guards you can get by with some stuff. Then all of a sudden we had one, and everything became real hard. And we were bad early last year. I mean, and midway through we weren't the best. I mean, we were 10-12 at one point. We just happened to go on a 8-game winning streak into the sectional final and kind of salvaged what had been a real mediocre year and made it as it turns out, a decent year. But that's where we are. We have maybe a few more guys with some experience now, but we don't have that one guy, or what would have been two last year, that are really strong, proven, high-level players. So some of these guys that are juniors are hopefully looking to make that jump.
With this seat,
go ahead.
Go ahead and finish up, and I'll ask.
Oh, I was going to say we've got three seniors: Jordan Tyson, Mitch Martin, that played all JV last year, and then Charlie Avici, who was at least a part-time starter. And so we have his experience coming back, and then we also have a bunch of juniors. And like I say, a bunch of those guys had a lot of varsity experience. Chase Alcorn and Jake Wood, and then even Gerard Simmons Young. They all started quite a bit, and have experience in what they're doing. And then we're looking at a few other juniors, guys like C.J. Berry, Austin Scheidel, DeAndre Cunningham is really coming on for us, that are able to look like they'll be able to step up and maybe help us out, certainly. And then got a sophomore, Ryan Obermeyer, that played varsity ball summer and is coming around, and we're looking forward to getting his athleticism on the court. And then a freshman point guard, Darren Owens, that we might bring along some, and he seems willing to learn. Obviously doesn't know a lot, but he's trying to learn. It's just a lot right now. It's a big transition. So
a big transition, the South 7 Conference over the last 10 years, even since you came into the conference. Talk about how tough the South 7 Conference is going to be this year, not only team-wise, but coaching-wise in general now with all the teams.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously there's, all the coaches in our league have had success at a high level. I mean, and that's just where it is. I mean, I think when you talk about 3A basketball and our part of the state, certainly our conference is the one. Not that there's a ton of 3A schools, but there's more now. And you compare us maybe to a couple of the other 3A conferences that are in the general vicinity, and I think our conference is, stands up pretty well. And I think there are a lot of good coaches in our league, and obviously player-wise this year with what's coming back, you start with Cahokia. We have the conference MVP coming back, along with a couple other highly recruitable players that are have the size and the athleticism, the skills to do some things. And anytime your conference champion returns a lot of the players, I think they have to be the one with the target, and they are. And then after that, I think it's just kind of a wait and see. And last year maybe Cahokia was clearly on paper better than everybody else, but Mount Vernon got them once, and we almost got them twice. Once really let it slip through our fingers. So it doesn't mean that you can't go slay the dragon, so to speak, and it's just it's going to be a great challenge. But they're the ones carrying that burden this year, and then the rest of us, I think, are scratching it out. I mean, of the other 5 teams, somebody's going to end up probably a close second, somebody's going to end up a distant 6, and you have no idea who it's going to be, and so that's the excitement of it.
Of course, Coach, WMIX Sports social media question of the week is something that's our final question. We go a little off topic. Thanksgiving coming this Thursday. What is your favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
Well, a nap.
A nap. Very nice.
Starting last Sunday, I had a busy day. I've been looking forward to Thanksgiving so I could get a nap. I've got seems like every minute of every day planned out up till then, and then I'll have plenty to do, but I'm going to take a nap. Isn't that the favorite part? Because all the fixings are good, and everybody likes the turkey, but that nap after eating, isn't that the best part?
Can be.
Yeah.
Some of us are too wired to ever take a nap. I'm one of those people. I never can, but that's a great outside-the-box answer, one that I definitely wasn't expecting.
I'm a sweet potato guy, too.
Nice. You like the casserole?
Sweet potatoes.
Casserole? Like
straight-up sweet potatoes with
nice.
a few melted marshmallows on top.
Very nice. Coach, Monday night, Centralia Thanksgiving Classic. Good luck to the Orphans. Yeah, we open up Jerseyville 7:45, and at 6:15, Mascoutah tips off against Belleville. So we'll look forward to seeing some folks out here. Very nice, and we will see you on Friday, November 30th.
All righty.
That's Coach Lee Bennett, Centralia Orphans. Busy man this morning, I know. Appreciate him taking the time to join us on the Saturday Sports Show today. We'll have Russ Gerlach after the break. Coach of the Wayne City Indians making his Saturday Sports Show debut. We're glad to have him right here on WMIX and MyWithersRadio.com, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Are you interested in a career in the culinary arts but can never afford the high cost of cooking school? Rend Lake College has a low-cost recipe for success. For as little as $5,500 per year, you can get a quality culinary arts education in your own backyard. That even includes books, tuition, class fees, and supplies. Learn to master domestic fare, pastry, and foreign cuisine in Ina, Illinois. Save thousands on a culinary arts education at Rend Lake College. For more information, log on to rlc.edu/culinary arts.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital. With our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge, the entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, MyWithersRadio.com. Presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Glad to have you with us. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. We're also on Facebook as well, facebook.com/WMIX Sports. Next week you'll be able to listen to us on the all-new WMIXSports.com. Glad to have you, however you may be accessing us. Now join us, head coach of the Wayne City Indians, Russ Gerlach. Coach, good morning and welcome to the Saturday Sports Show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
I always told you we'd have to connect sometime. We finally made that happen. Wayne City Indians coming off a regional semi-appearance against Sandoval at home last year, looking to build on that. A lot of recent success under your expert tutelage there in Wayne County. But you come on this season, 12-13. You start off at the Christopher Thanksgiving Tournament. As always, you drew Christopher Monday at 7:45. I'd have to imagine the Indians right now really wanting to get out there on that floor and start this basketball season.
Absolutely. We're definitely tired of practicing against each other and ready to see if what we've been working on will work against other people. Of course, it seems to work in practice against the JV, but you never know how it's going to go against another varsity team.
Smear Indians come in last year, had several big wins towards the end of last season. You come back with this version in 2012-2013. Who are some of the kids you're going to be relying on this upcoming season?
Well, let's say we lost our top 6 players, so pretty much everything's going to be new for us this year. I think leading the way this year for us should be juniors Billy Irwin and Jimmy Mayberry. I think they, most nights should be probably our top 2 scorers. After that, I'm not really sure who will do what scoring from us from there, but I know that the important players that we're going to have, Zach Hedden, he's a senior, he'll be probably our defensive specialist. Brendan Hale's a junior. Tyler Doty's a senior. And then some kids coming off the bench, Chase Gammon and Canyon Clark, who are sophomores. Landon Anderson's a junior. He'll be coming off the bench. And then we may even have to put some freshmen in the game at some point. Right now, we just don't have any senior or junior point guards right now. Actually, maybe sophomore point guards. All of our point guards are freshmen. So if we get in situations where we're having trouble getting them off the floor, we may have to go with those guys.
Looking after that Christopher tournament, you start getting in. You have a road trip to Christ Hard Rock Lutheran and Centralia. Then you get a bevy of home games from November 30th through January 4th. You are at home, including the Conrad Allen Holiday Tournament. That's got to help a team right there like yours with losing some of that experience coming into this year.
You're definitely right there. It's nice to play against the home crowd and be in our own gym, be something we're familiar with. Not have to play in front of real hostile crowds, but obviously we're going to start the season off that way by going to Christopher and playing against them in their own place. And I think there's some big things expected with them. So that'll be a lot of pressure on us early, but you're right. It'll be nice to get some of those trips out of the way and be able to play at home for a while, maybe get into a little comfort zone and, get some positive things going.
Speaking of positive things been the Midland Trail Conference, very competitive last few years. New coaches, new places. Brian Gamber at Waltonville, Chad Harper at Weber Township, including. Where do you see the Midland Trail Conference stacking up this year as far as a favorite or favorites?
Well, I think the top three are going to be Sisney, Woodlawn, and Waltonville. And honestly, I think North Clay could be right there as well. I know, I've talked to Coach Waddles a lot. Me and him work together at Florida some, and it seems like every year he has one kid or two kids that maybe don't end up playing after all. It's kind of a baseball town, and sometimes they decide to play baseball instead. But I think if he has everybody he's supposed to, they'll be a very good team and have a chance to compete for the top spot as well. But then after that, to me, there's a lot of teams that are pretty even. Us and Grayville, Odin, Clay City, all of them should be fairly decent. I think Weber will be definitely improved. They've got a lot of players back, and I think Chad does a great job. So, there's going to be a lot of teams, I think, in that kind of mid-range where those top four might battle it out for those spots, and the rest of us battle out for what's left.
Other non-conference games, Christopher, you have the Patoka Shootout, and then you throw in Fairfield, Edwards County, and NCOE along the way. That's a nice little schedule for your team to play non-conference-wise. Yeah,
it is. We get to play still some schools that are 1A. Fairfield, it's kind of nice with travel expenses going up like it is to be able to play somebody nice and close and, kind of get that rivalry going. But, I think before I got here, it seemed like we always played in regionals. And I know a lot of people got tired always having to go against Fairfield in the regionals. Well, we don't have to worry about that, but we can play them in a non-conference regular season game. And, Edwards County would be a good test. I know NCOE is supposed to be pretty good this year, and they've got a 6A kid that I've been told is pretty good as well. So, we still get some tough teams out of conference as well.
And I'd like to go back, talk about that Conrad Allen Holiday Tournament, one of the best 1A tournaments as far as anything goes, whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, or midwinter. How special is that? Can you describe from the Wayne City point of view for the kids and you as coaches to do that and coach in that prestigious tournament every year?
Well, just to know that it's not the 60th yet, but we're getting awful close to 60 years of it. I've got to meet Coach Allen quite a few times, and I just asked him, kind of a little bit about the history, and he said there was, 2 or 3 tournaments going on at the time, and there was nothing for small schools, and he just decided to start one year, and I think maybe they had 4 to 6 teams, maybe something like that the first couple of years. Then all of a sudden, within the first 5 to 10, they had a waiting list, and it was a 16-team bracket tournament, sort of like Sesser-Valier is, except it would play over 2 weeks. I think like a week before Christmas, maybe have finals in the week after Christmas, and it's just kind of changed formats throughout the years, plus all the other tournaments going on, and there's been a lot more people that having tournaments, so some of the people didn't moved on. But it's amazing going back and look at the history of some of the schools that have played in it that are no longer around: St. Francisville, Allendale, Tamaroa, Enfield. I think there's a lot more. That I could mention that schools that aren't even around that have played in it or even won the tournament. And I think one of the coolest things for me personally was after we won the tournament a couple of years ago, Coach Allen, who wasn't able to be there, we were able to take him a DVD as a team and let him watch the game at home. And then he came into one of our practices and we took a team picture with him and him holding the trophy. And I think that was kind of a pretty special moment, not just for me and the kids, but for him to be able to come in and like you said, it is a big deal to our community. And we definitely want to have a good showing in it.
You're talking about teams from the Quad County Conference and the Little Egypt Conference, starting to date myself there as far as basketball history goes. I got to ask this about another level. I'll ask you the same question I asked Coach Harper a while ago from Weber Township. Is our team, Kentucky, going to find a point guard this year, or what are we going to do?
Well, I didn't get to watch last night's game, so I'm not 100% sure, but they seem to be in the same boat I am. They're having a little trouble finding a consistent point guard, but I think they will. And I think the one kid, I can't remember his name, is it Harlow that has
Harlow, yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying, it's got plenty of time before the SEC schedule comes around, so they got time to get him going. But I've got a lot of kids on my team that are Duke fans, and of course, they were giving me a hard time before the game and after. And I told them that right now, I think if they played 5 one-on-one games, Kentucky would win all 5, but they just haven't gelled as a team like Duke has. And it's not quite like last year where those kids came in all pretty unselfish and more team focused. It seems like this year's Kentucky group seems to be, I don't want to say more selfish, but they're just having a little harder time working together. But, they're still got 30-some games total, so I know they got tons of time to get all those kinks worked out.
Of course, Coach, I know that with this being your debut on the Saturday Sports Show, maybe not familiar with our WMIX Sports social media question on the week on air.
Well,
However,
I've commented on it before.
Yeah,
I knew he's been a Facebook and Twitter participant, but this is his first time actually getting to answer it live and in person. We'll see how he does.
This is a lot of pressure.
What is your favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
Well, I saw that this morning, and I had to try and narrow it down. I had about 4 options, and I'd have to say when we go to Grandma's, she makes some of the best homemade noodles in the world.
Nice.
And I'd probably have to go with those.
So Grandma's homemade noodles.
I'd say Grandma's noodles, but I was going to say, the mashed potatoes, the dressing, my wife's homemade bread, they're all pretty good. So
now, are you a cranberry sauce guy?
Plates at Thanksgiving.
Do you like cranberry sauce?
No, I'm not much on the cranberry sauce.
What?
No, good idea, good choice.
Wow. I guess there's nothing more polarizing than cranberry sauce around the holidays. But
well, I don't know if it's polarizing. I'm just not much for it, but it's not one of those where I'm anti the people who like it or something.
Well, I might be the anti-people who don't, but who knows. Coach, I know you guys get started on Monday against the host Christopher Bearcats at the Christopher Thanksgiving Tournament. Good luck to the Indians, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, thank you very much.
That is Russ Gerlach, head coach of the Wayne City Indians, and I don't even know why I like cranberry sauce or why I get so defensive or offended when people bash it, but just one of those things.
It looks pretty when you bring it out of the can. You just lay it right there. But in our household, that's all it is. It's just gel. I don't know.
Some people like that whole buried junk, and that stuff's awful. Anyhow, Saturday Sports Show, we're probably due for a break. Shane Hawkins, Marion Wildcats will join us next. Presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Do you farm or operate an agriculture-based business? Then Community First Bank is for you. Hi, I'm Steve Down, Agribusiness Lending Officer at Community First Bank. With our roots firmly planted in Jefferson County, we offer the stability, strength, and personal attention that you deserve. Community First Bank wants to be your financial partner with customized products for both your personal and farm banking needs. Stop by any of our 5 convenient Jefferson County locations to see how we can help your business grow.
Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital with our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge. The entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Show, brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Joining us now is the new head coach of the Marion Wildcats, Shane Hawkins. How are you this morning, Coach?
I'm doing good, guys. How are you doing this morning?
Doing well. Not first practice. 2 weeks of practice. You're currently in the middle of it. We appreciate you taking time to join us. How are things going in the land of Marion in your basketball schedule so far?
Hey, if you guys could find a way to give me about 10 or 12 more practices before the pyramids start, I'd be very grateful.
Now, wait a minute. Now, you've had all summer and all off season and 2 more weeks, and another guy I was talking to from Benton said, hey, you've got plenty of time to get ready. So what's the deal here?
Yeah. You know what? It's been good, but with basketball, it's different than with football because your summer stuff goes right into your season. I thought we had a good summer as far as teaching, but we got done the second week of July, and now they have 4 months off before practice starts. So you have to go back and kind of reteach things. And, I really do like our kids' effort. I think the effort's been great. I think the concentration's been good. But the fact that we're just trying to put so many different things in, so much of our system, and then our system's a little bit different than everybody else's. And, there's a lot of small pieces to the puzzle, and you can't start skipping steps and to get to the end result. And that's the part that, we're probably not as far along as I had hoped, just for the fact that we've had to kind of go back and reteach, and we haven't been able to advance as far as I'd like. But at the same time, I really like kind of where we're at. And I think that, once the season gets started, obviously not next week, but once we get more practice time after we've played a few games, I think that we'll have another good jump of making good strides. And I think that hopefully by January, by early February, then we're making some progress, and that's kind of that's where our hope is right now.
Progress for you in taking over a new program has been to hire a new coaching staff or bringing new guys. You made one in particular move. I'll let you explain who are members of your coaching staff for this year.
I kept the same guys who were here from the past, and I think that you can when you take over a job, you have to have kind of a foundation and a lay of the land. And but Daryl Wimberly is the dean of students at school. He helps Coach Martin on the football staff. He was an All-American linebacker at Louisville in the late 70s and got drafted by the Jets. But having his mentality and his competitiveness, right beside me obviously helps. Joel Allen was a sophomore coach last year. We kept him. Tommy Coleman was our freshman coach. We kept him. We added Garrett Elders, and I got to know Garrett last year. He was a Red Bud for Coach Gillingham up there, and I thought he was one of those young coaches who worked at it and did a very good job. I thought it was very important for me to have someone who kind of understood the system in place, and so I brought Tyler Coleman, and he played for us in Trico 2 years ago. He was one of those guys who was not the biggest or the fastest or the strongest, but had a great understanding of the game. And I think having him down with our freshmen and sophomores will be very invaluable for those guys. And then I wanted somebody who had been through the wars, had been a head coach who had called timeouts, who had had to run his own program. I had a veteran beside me at Trico for 6 years, and my father, and somebody I could lean on, and I obviously missed that, but it's the chance to bring Kevin Toney with us, long-time head coach at West Frankfort, assistant coach at West Frankfort. Just having him, and I've got to know Kevin for the last several years. I got to know him very well, and when he got out of Frankfort, he would come and scout our practices, or he would scout in the postseason for my teams and help us, and he would come and watch us play games and scout it, kind of give me some feedback. And, I think that when you can add somebody with his knowledge, the way he does things, he's one of those guys who's organized, probably to the max, understands basketball, has a great knowledge of the game and of the game that's played. And I think that if he didn't kind of believe in our system and what we were doing here, then he wouldn't have done it. But I think that he's kind of seen us practice and play over the last couple of years and kind of understood our system and what we're trying to accomplish. And I think it was very similar to what he has been around. And I think that just having that veteran guy beside me that I can lean on, after a good practice or after a bad practice or in game preparation, I think that was a big step to making our program hopefully taking it to the next level.
I got to ask you the same question I asked Brian Gamber a while ago. Brian Gamber switching teams, who's assistant at Mount Vernon, going to Waltonville. You going from Trico to Marion, kind of the same boat with new teams and new programs to learn and scout about. What's the learning curve? How has it been for you, and how do you think it will be as you move along in this season, learning a whole new schedule of teams?
Well, I have there's any doubt it's going to be a challenge for us. We kind of were in our comfort zone at Trico. We knew who we were playing every year. We knew our conference teams. We'd see our conference teams, 8, 10, 12 times a year, in games and on tape, and so we had a good feel for the systems that they run. The only thing that kind of changed was maybe the personnel from time to time, but we had a good feel for them, and now we're in a situation where everything is an unknown, everything is new, everything that happens in practice is new, and then you get into games, and it's we're not very familiar with each coach. We're not as familiar with the system that they run or what they're trying to accomplish. Just from that standpoint, we're going to have to work. We've got our hands full with game preparation from Friday to Friday in the South 7, and even starting away here with the Pyramid Plus next week, and we're the only new coach. We're the only new coach in the league, and so everybody else is kind of familiar with each other. So they can, they don't have that learning curve, so to speak, but at the same time, they're going to have to learn about us as well, and so it kind of works both ways. I guess the downside to that is they have to prepare for us as being one team, and we have to go work that way for everybody. But it's a challenge, and we knew it was going to be a challenge when we took the job. We knew it was going to be a process. It wasn't going to be something that was going to be changed overnight. We understood that. And all we can do is roll up our sleeves and go to work each and every day and practice, and each and every day or each and every night at home, and trying to watch film and trying to get a grasp on what lies ahead.
Speaking of what lies ahead, let's get to the here and now. The Pyramid Tournament, a 5-team affair this week with the subtractions of Massac County and East St. Louis, but you bring in Collinsville. Talk about this tournament as far as a good mix of 3A and a 4A team as well.
Well, I think it's a very good mix. At least for us, you have Salem, who's kind of on the outskirts of our area. We don't, we play in their midwinter tournament, but it's not somebody that we're really familiar with. You have Mount Vernon, who we're going to see a lot, each year because of the South 7 battles, and but I think that just the tradition that they bring and what they've been able to accomplish for a long time. Going back to the 20s and 30s when they were winning the state championships, and through Coach Doug Creel and on to Coach Gamber. And, I think that's a challenge in itself. You have Harre, who, at least for us, is a rivalry game. It's they're 6 miles down the road, and I guess maybe the rivalry will kind of be renewed or amped up a couple levels now that they're back 3A, and there'll be a team that we will compete with year in and year out for regional championships. And then, like you mentioned, the opportunity to have Coach Darren Lee and to have him bring his K-Hawk program down from Collinsville, that ultimately gives our tournament a little bit more oomph, so to speak. It's going to open some eyes that, hey, we have a pretty good tournament if we've attracted someone the caliber of Collinsville, and hopefully it's something we can lock in for a long time and keep them involved, because I think it will be a good tournament for them as well, just for the fact that they don't have to go play the same 4A schools in their area that they have to play on a nightly basis and in every tournament. So I really do like the mix of teams. If we can get a 6 team next year, I just think if you're going to play in a tournament, you need to try to maximize your games, and obviously playing 5 games. Getting that 16 is very important, but hopefully we can get that accomplished next year and get this tournament kind of set for years to come.
Off-topic question, and this is NASCAR involved. My guy hands the crown over tomorrow night to somebody. Your guy's out starting one of the best fights NASCAR's had in 10 years. I mean, are your teammates upset you're wrecking vehicles? I mean, is there any shame that you're taking that your number 24 is out starting fights and wrecking people?
Hey, if you're not going to win the tournament, if you're not going to win the chase, you might as well have a say in who does. And I think just like for anything else, the thing is where sometimes you can take and you can take and you can take, but it comes to the point where you're going to have to stand up for yourself and take matters in your hand. And I think that was accomplished last Sunday.
Speaking of accomplished, our final questions are WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week, and this week's question is, what is your favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
Side dish. Got to be mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Got to be mashed potatoes.
Yeah. I figured it would be. I just wanted to see what you would say in that point. Hey, thanks for joining us.
Hey, being in Southern Illinois, you know it's all about meat and potatoes anyway.
Right. It always is. Meat and potatoes is what we'll hope we'll see you serve us next week in the hospitality room down there. Is that true?
You know what? That's I can only do so much, and we got a great staff here. That goes to Mr. Shornack, our AD. He's in charge of that. So I'll put a plug in for you and see if he can help you out a little bit.
All right. We will see you next week, 4 nights. Thanks, Coach, for being on the show this morning with us.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that's Shane Hawkins, head basketball coach of the Marion Wildcats boys basketball team. Of course, hosting the Pyramid next week at Cuss Wilson Gymnasium. We need to step out for a break. Of course, the Saturday Sports Show brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
We'll be back with a couple more interviews. Clint Winemiller and Wayne Harre on the way.
The state of denial is a drag and a trial. When I bought my cheap insurance, should have known this day would come. Now I've had an accident and I'm feeling quite alone. Called them at least 20 times, but they won't pick up the phone. Without personal service, my policy's kind of worthless. Get to a better state, State Farm.
Don't deny yourself to call an agent. Tony Wilt in Mount Vernon, 242-1421.
Hi, I'm Elaine. I've been a nurse with Good Samaritan for many, many years. One of the best things about my job is knowing that I work for a hospital that cares so much about the community. We're dedicated to attracting the best physicians and investing in the most advanced medical technologies. Whether it's radiology, oncology, or advanced heart care, we provide some of the nation's most advanced treatment options right here in Southern Illinois. That way patients never have to travel far from their families to receive the care they need. I'm always happy when families come visit. And starting in 2013, that sort of thing will happen even more. That's when Good Samaritan opens our all-new regional health center. Everything about the new center has been designed with patients in mind. It features all private rooms and family-friendly areas that make it easier for visitors to stay overnight. I can't wait to see what Good Samaritan does with this exciting new facility.
Good Samaritan Regional Health Center. Raising a hospital, raising the bar.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Show, brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital. Danny Zawinski here, Chris Hugel, Mike Richardson alongside Jeff Crow pushing the buttons here on Broadway. We bring in the next guest to our show. We're going to the girls' side of things, as the girls' season obviously tipped all this week. Some more tournaments next week in the area. One of those being in Hamilton County. Joining us now is the head coach of the Hamilton County Lady Foxes, Clint Winemiller. Coach, how are you this morning?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. How's practice been going the first 3 weeks?
Well, we're ready to play someone else. For 3 weeks, we've just been going against one another, so we're kind of, as girls basketball goes, we're getting a little antsy, giggly, carrying on, so we're ready to face somebody else.
As far as girls basketball goes, Hamilton County has always had this beginning of the year Thanksgiving tournament. One of the, I think as unheralded, maybe doesn't get the attention deserved, but this has been a very tradition-rich, tough tournament over the years in Hamilton County to open the season.
Oh, well, probably 5 to 10 years ago, Nashville was in this. Before that, Breeze was in this. So, yes, it's had a lot of good teams and a lot of good competition in it. So I was looking at records just the other day. Several teams going 5-0 to start when you're battling Fairfields and McLeansboro and Nashville, and one of those teams comes out undefeated. That's you've had a lot of luck in those. And a week of basketball, right? And so Thanksgiving which tends to be tough because you get together with your family, people sit around, and all they do is stuff themselves, and then come back and get you a couple more games over the weekend. Yeah, it gets pretty tough. But it's our 21st year of hosting this. First several were at their old school, and then recently the last 10 years have been at the new school. So we look forward to another good tournament.
How long has the new school been in now? What did you just say, 10 years?
10 years.
Man, that's hard to believe.
Yes, it is. It is hard to believe. In fact, we're up at the old high school right now because we've rented out our new gym for a little hospital foundation dinner. So we're practicing in the old gym. I miss the old gym. I like the seating, the stage, the band room. It has everything that I wish our new school had. Chair seats on both sides, which is tough to please people when you host postseason basketball because you're not for sure who should sit in those chairs. So I miss the old school.
Nice to be back in that old school. In your tournament next week, a nice mix of 1A, 2A schools in it with Gallatin County, a very impressive ZRC team that we saw earlier this week, Fairfield, Pinckneyville, and you guys. That's a nice mix for your tournament as it has evolved over the years.
Yes, it is. We're having a hard time finding that 16, so everybody gets a night off. But it's very good competition, especially to start the season. Gallatin County and the last few years, a couple years ago when I first got into girls coaching, were pretty good. I think they've lost a lot to graduation. Fairfield this year, I think, have a few players back, but I think they lost their top scorer as she's moved away. Ziegler, yes, they've got a lot of good players back. So we're, and then Pinckneyville, I think, have several players back. So it should be an interesting week. A lot of teams that don't play one another during the season. So that's another thing I like about it is, besides Fairfield, we don't see any of these other teams throughout the rest of the year. So I like playing somebody different.
Especially those teams. It'll run Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday with 2 games each night, 6 and 7:30. Moving on from that into the Black Diamond Conference. Of course, on the eastern side, some very tough teams there as well, and of course Black Diamond West being very good this year. Seems to me the Black Diamond Conference, as far as girls basketball goes, is getting stronger and stronger each year.
Oh, it is loaded. We play some of those other schools on the other side. We see Goreville at the tournament. We play Ziegler, of course, in ours, and then we also play Sesser on a Saturday afternoon here in a couple of weeks. So yeah, and then our side is getting better and better. There is not an easy game on our side of the conference. El Dorado is much improved. They've got all of their players are returning, and they're still young, and they have everybody back. Vienna still has a couple pretty good players, pretty good guards, and it's their 6th man or woman back. So it is tough. It is going to be very difficult to win on the road, especially. So you have to take care of business at home, and to have a chance at the conference title, you need to win at least 3 of 5 on the road, and those are not easy. And to go through them and try to pick is not easy. Johnson City has a very good freshman class coming back, plus the Price girl. So they've got a couple 5'10", 5'11" girls inside. So it'll be rough for us.
Speaking of rough, I think your team returns a lot of good players. Talk about some of the key members of your team that you're going to depend on this year.
Well, we lost 5 kids to graduation, 5 kids that started for us last year, and then towards the middle of the year we had a sophomore start into the post. That is probably our top scorer is Alicia York. She's improved tremendously. She is strong. She has a great work ethic, great attitude, kind of the leader of this team. She was a first-team all-conference as a sophomore, and probably not until Christmas time did she even begin to start. So we're looking for big things from her. I think she could be pretty good. Our next, we're going to start 3 juniors and 2 sophomores, so probably Lucinda Adams will be our point guard this year. Knows the game, very smart, can shoot it. I probably shouldn't give this stuff away. Jordan Scribner, another junior, pretty good passer, pretty good little player. Then we're going to have 2 sophomores. Both of them are Rubenackers, not sisters. And I'm not even sure if they're related, but live right next to one another. But Dana Rubenacker and Megan Rubenacker. So I'm basically starting our volleyball team this year. And then we have 1 senior, the only senior on the team who did not play last year, and Emily McCullough. So she'll probably be our 6th man. And, I told them to worry more about who is playing at the end of the game and who starts the game. In girls basketball, they tend to be sometimes a problem with that. But we don't expect any problems. I expect them to play several minutes. My bench is young and has very little experience at the varsity level, but Aaron Bonner will probably come in and play a little bit. Kara Biggerstaff, who's another sophomore, Rochelle Rexing, who is another sophomore, and then Caitlin Barr, who is a freshman. All of those kids could probably play a little bit at some point in this season, and probably even this coming week. We may throw some of them out there just to see what they can do.
Got to ask this. We know you're in the middle of practice. We appreciate you taking the time to come out and join us. Final question is our WMIX Sports social media question of the week, and this week's question is, what is your favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
Mashed potatoes made by my mother.
Okay.
She does a great job with those. I can't wait to hardly eat them. In fact, I'll probably have 2 scoops of those and 1 scoop of everything else.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, no.
Hey, we appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you in a few weeks when you host SVW.
Always a pleasure.
Hey, thanks for coming on. Go Cats. You better believe it. Thank you, sir. Yeah, thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. That's Clint Winemiller, head coach of the Hamilton County Lady Foxes. They'll open up next week in their Thanksgiving tournament. A schedule posted we have at our Facebook page, facebook.com/WMIX Sports. We need to step out for a break. On the other side, Wayne Harre, the head coach of the Nashville Hornettes, will join us. You're listening to the Saturday Sports Show on WMIX.
Select a checking account that pays you interest. People's National Bank introduces People's Select Checking. It has all the services you have come to expect from People's National Bank. Unlimited check writing, Visa check card, online banking, and bill pay. And you can earn 0.17 annual percentage yields on balances over $1,000. Visit me at 413 South 34th Street to start earning interest on your checking account.
People's National Bank, member FDIC, $100 to open. Rate may change after account opening. APY is accurate as of October 16, 2012. Fees could reduce earnings on account. Non-usage fees may apply.
When is the last time you looked at the gas prices and thought, I could always pay a little more? Hi, Roy Schmidt, Ford dealer, Ford Square, Mount Vernon. We are all tired of the song and dance of high prices at the pump. So how about we party with fuel economy of a 2013 Ford Fiesta? Right now, you'll find a Fiesta 4-door with an automatic transmission ready to go with 39 miles per gallon highway and for less than $15,000 plus tax, title, and license. Your pocketbook wins twice, saving out the door and at the pump. Wow. Come see one of our sales reps for a Ford Fiesta or any Ford Lincoln vehicle, new or pre-owned, at Ford Square of Mount Vernon, 1501 Broadway in Mount Vernon, Illinois, or visit us online at fordsquare.com. And don't forget to find us on Facebook and Twitter.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, MyWithersRadio.com. Chris Hugo with Danny Czerwinski, Mike Richardson, Jeff Crow in studio for you this morning. Glad to have you with us. Follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. We're also on Facebook, Facebook.com/WMIX Sports. Our next guest is a head coach of the Nashville Hornettes, a very successful program over there in Washington County. Wayne Harre joins us now. Wayner, good morning.
Hey, how's it going?
You know what, going very well. I know you just wrapped up with practice. Thank you for taking the time, of course, to make us part of your schedule today. But you guys get started with your own tournament. You host the Nashville Girls Thanksgiving Invitational next week. A very nice tournament. Lady Rams participate in that, of course, as do your Nashville Hornettes. Do you enjoy having that element of hosting your own tournament and getting to start out at home every year and setting your own schedule?
Well, it's okay. I mean, we went to Hamilton County, Plainsboro for years, and we decided to maybe we'd host our own here last. I guess it's been going 5 or 6 years here, and it seems like it's worked out for our fans, and it seems like the teams enjoy it. The teams that are coming here, and yeah, it's nice. It's nice being at home. I mean, I don't mind not going down to McLeansboro 5 nights what we used to do. So it's better for the kids and like I said, our parents and our fans. But I think the teams enjoy coming. I think we take care of them. We try to treat them right, and I think they just keep coming back. So when you have a successful tournament, it takes a lot of people that get involved, and I think our faculty does a good job, and the assistant coaches that we've got here, and Neil Hammond, our AD, does a good job. So it takes takes a lot of people to get it going, but it's turned out to be a real nice tournament.
Coach, I got to ask this question, knowing that the Lady Rams are playing 8:30 on Friday morning. Has Jeff Lonnon done something wrong, or is that just somebody's got to play at 8:30, so we get to play at 8:30?
Well, I especially it's after Thanksgiving, so it really makes it tough. No, he told me that he's going to take me fishing, but he's never has. So I just told him, I said, Coach, now you have to play at 8:30, so maybe you'll take me fishing this summer. No, it's just the way it works out that way sometimes, and so that 8:30 game is a tough one to play, but I'm sure he'll have his Lady Rams ready to go.
Well, I mean, if he did something wrong, now we know the root of the reason, and if he didn't take you fishing, then 8:30 is the answer. So be it. That's what we like to hear.
There you go. That's what it is.
Right. Agreed. Hey, talk about your team, a sectional semifinalist last year. Who's returning for your Hornets this year?
Well, we got three stars returning. We got Sean Rennegarby, which is I'm sure everybody's known about her how good her golf game is, and then she's about a 5'11" forward. And then we've got Harre. She's been starting since maybe midway through her sophomore year, and she's a senior. She's going to Carbondale on a softball scholarship. And then we got Erica Brown, and she's about a 6-foot senior. And she's going to play basketball at Eastern. Then the other spot will be Jordy Harre. She's a sophomore point guard for us. And then the other spot right now would be Hannah Young. She's a junior. So then after that, it's kind of up in the air. We just don't have a whole lot of depth. We just got done practicing. We got 9 on the varsity roster right now. So we're going to see who can help us depth wise. So. We'll see what happens. One thing about the 5 that are playing have been in big games, and they know what we expect from the program, and I think they're doing a good job with the kids that are coming up. I think to try to keep the program going in the right direction is a chore, but it takes good players to do that, and they have to understand what we're trying to do here, and I appreciate them doing it.
How do you just keep it going? I mean, you've been very successful there at Nashville as head coach of the Hornets. Domination of the Mississippi side of the river to river. Domination amongst Illinois. Great suffocating defense to keep teams, under 20, often throughout every season. How do you keep that going? How do you keep that tradition so strong in Nashville?
Well, it takes a commitment from the girls, and it seems like they kind of understand. I mean, now you have to win, so they buy into it. So that's a big part of it. But if they're successful and they kind of understand what they need to do to win, and I appreciate them doing it. It's not the greatest thing in the world to play defense, and everybody wants score and put their name in the paper or in the book and talk about that. But I don't know if we just haven't been blessed with great offensive players. I'm not trying to take anything away from the girls, and I think they know that. But we can try to play defense, and that's what we've been trying to do here for the last 13, 14 years. And it seems like we can do that. We always have a chance to win. It seems like, and then I think we play pretty hard, pretty smart. Most of the time, we're always going to make mistakes, but and then they respond. We don't. And that might be part of it. And I think we've had, we've talked about on the air before, the girls' basketball is probably the third popular sport here. Might be fourth, I don't know. But so we just don't, like this summer, we didn't play any games at all. I had to drop it because they were all playing different sports. So they didn't get a chance to really work on their game a whole lot. But, when we get in here, we can play defense. And that's okay. We've accepted that. That's all right. And I know that those girls are going to get scholarships in different sports. But I do appreciate them playing basketball for me and being excited to play and keeping the tradition going.
Well, it's a tradition that over the past decade is just a tradition of excellence. I hate to be cliche, but that's exactly what it is. You guys get started at your own tournament on Tuesday night versus Triad at 8:00. But I know you're a busy guy. We'll wrap it up, of course, with our WMIX Sports social media question of the week, and it's kind of an off-topic question we've been doing now. What is your favorite side dish at Thanksgiving?
My favorite side dish?
Oh, yeah.
I think it probably would have to be, I'm going to have to go with dessert because I'm putting a few pounds on myself here, so I'd have to play some pumpkin pie probably. I'll try to take that with a little whipped cream on top. So I'll try to, I think I kind of like that.
Very nice. And, of course, maybe we can bring you some pumpkin pie when we come over there at 8:30 on Black Friday.
Yeah. Well, maybe I should have it for you guys. Maybe I'll do that. I'll have it for you for Coach Letta, too. We'll take care of that.
We just enjoy being able to come to Nashville. We'd come there if it was 6 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't matter to us. And maybe the key to it all is going to be Lonnon getting out of bed to get his team there that early.
Well, I think if he tells me he's going fishing, he'll be up in a hurry, too. That won't be a problem.
Coach, thank you for taking the time to join us today. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
Same to you. Thanks, guys.
That's Wayne Harre, of course, head coach of the Nashville Hornettes, and happy Thanksgiving is the one thing I've been forgetting to say to our guest this morning. Of course, we wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving here from the Saturday Sports Show. Basketball is upon us, gentlemen. Hard to believe, but it is here, and you know, you get wrestling and bowling and dancing and cheerleading involved as well, and this just makes for probably right now my favorite time of the year. The football's winding down across the region, across the state, and you also get basketball going, and before we know it, we have a lot of Rams and Lady Rams coming to you next week. The showcase really kicks into high gear the week after that, as the Woodlawn Cardinals will travel to Oakville in that post-Thanksgiving tournament, and having seen pictures of that new gym over there in Oakville, that thing's a beauty.
Sat with Mike McClure the other night down at Wren Lake, and then caught him a couple of times at Rome tournament. He had been in the gym since it's been built, and typical Oakville style. You know, you knew it was going to be built right, and he said it is just absolutely phenomenal. So very excited about getting a chance to go over there and talk to Mike, their coach, Oakville grade school coach, and Frederick King, and he said it's fantastic. It's just unbelievable. So, yeah, can't wait to get in and take a look firsthand.
Well, and, of course, a lot of basketball to be played here, there, and everywhere. Of course, the Mount Vernon Rams next week will be at the Pyramid Plus tournament in Marion. We will tip off the coverage at 6:15 with our pregame. Coverage will kick off at 6:15 with our pregame. WMIX FM and My Withers Radio. How about WMIXSports.com? That's where it'll be Monday night, where you can watch it online. The Oakville Lady Rams game, of course, will be on our sister station, V1047 and V1047.com, and then you can get our broadcast schedule online on Monday at WMIXSports.com. When we launch that, excited about that. Many exciting things to come. You can always stay up to date on Twitter at WMIX Sports, Facebook as well. But, you know, we take a look at some of the conferences, and most of the Midland Trail seems like they will get started this week. You have a great majority of the Midland Trail, not really a majority, but you have a great chunk of teams down there at Christopher. They get started. Wayne City, Weber, and, of course, Waltonville back in the tournament after a bit of a hiatus. But you take a look at the South 7 Conference, all of these teams getting started next week. Carbondale now heads up to Quincy after leaving Alton. But it's that time of the year, and you know, basketball is here. It's exciting for everybody. Some of the girls' teams getting started this week with tournaments. I know the Annies won the Thriller last night over Salem. Listen to that on our sister station, X95. But, you know, you're looking at the conferences up and down, and it really looks like this will be a year where you might see some parity in conferences that have been dominated by teams in the long term, especially.
Well, I think anytime, and we've talked about on this show for years, you know, the grade school gets started, then the girls start that week beforehand, and then, as you mentioned, boys just, it's on us right now, and this is a fun time of year, but a lot of these teams, like the coaches have said this morning, they're all tired. They said the same thing. They're tired of playing each other, and they're ready to play people and taking advantage of the tournaments. A lot of people don't realize getting that extra game somewhere early in the season to find out where you're at, find your roster, find your rotation. Those things are all what coaches worry about this time of year, and anytime you can get these pre-tournaments started up somewhere to get started before your regular season, and everybody shoots for their conference affiliation, that's what they're excited about, and it's right around the corner.
Of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't answer the WMIX Sports Question of the Week. You can find that on Facebook and Twitter, but what is your favorite Thanksgiving side dish? And I think it's been pretty apparent this morning what mine happens to be, and that is the jellied version of cranberry sauce. I love it. I don't know why. I just picked it up as a kid, and I've been eating it ever since, and it's almost like it's a national travesty if it does not appear on the Thanksgiving table wherever I am at. There have been people that have just, out of the kindness of their heart, apparently I'm a self-centered son of a gun, I'm learning over the course of the past few years. I know you guys are going to find that hard to believe.
Crazy talk.
But what is it? Cranberry sauce, the jellied version. I don't like Holdberry whatsoever. I don't know about you guys. I don't know what your favorites are, but mine is definitely jellied cranberry sauce. Ocean Spray.
He even names it the brand. I mean, that's
I've
what
tried other brands.
That's what you got to do.
I've tried other brands. Yeah. They're not the same.
That's right. I mean, there's a lot of things that are different in that regard. I've got two. It's just hard. Mashed potatoes, when they're done right, nothing like it. But my bride makes a hash brown casserole that's pretty phenomenal, and that would probably be the two.
I'm actually surprised that Hugo's isn't rolls, but mine will be stuffing.
Mine's got a tie, kind of like baked beans, stuffing, or mashed potatoes.
I can live with baked beans any time of the year.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, you mentioned rolls, Crow. I do love a good roll. Everybody knows that. That's seen me eat. But you take a roll, you take a slice of jellied cranberry sauce, you take some mashed potatoes, and it's kind of like a cranberry sauce Manhattan without the gravy. It's phenomenal.
Well, I tell you, now there'll be menus all over the country jumping all over that, won't they?
Mariner or Marnier is what you've seen this morning.
What, Grand Mariner?
Grand Mariner.
You mean Grand Mariner's not such a thing?
Grand Seattle Mariners on the
I
table
didn't know.
Thanksgiving.
I'm not a fish guy.
I'm not either.
Is it fish even?
It's orange liqueur.
Oh, I just saw
for marinating.
I saw the Mariner, and that's what made me think fish.
No, Mariner.
Who knows? But I guess we'll find out. Of course, busy week coming up. You'll want to stay tuned to WMIX, AM and FM, as well as the new WMIXsports.com launching on Monday. It's where our video, it's where our archives, it's where everything will be. We wanted to make our brand easier to access, so we felt launching its own website would do it the best justice. The new WMIXsports.com coming your way on Monday. We'll be on the air Monday. 6:15 will be your pregame. Mount Vernon Rams basketball against Harre from the Pyramid Plus tournament. 6:15 again, your pregame. Video online at WMIXsports.com. That's going to take some getting used to.
Yes, it is.
We also have Lady Rams coverage coming your way next week as well. You can catch their first game in action on Monday. 6:30 will be your tip-off against Oakville from the Nashville Thanksgiving Tournament. That'll be on sister station WNSV-FM, V1047, and V1047.com. That's pretty well going to do it for us. We wish you a happy Thanksgiving, of course. Feel free to chime in on our Facebook question. Make that our social media question. Find it on Facebook or Twitter, WMIX Sports location there. What's your favorite Thanksgiving side dish? You heard ours here on WMIX Mount Vernon. A free service from Withers Broadcasting. NBC News starts now.